Hey, welcome along. I am TC, and this is MBRR Pod, Minnesota Black Robe Regiment Podcast. And this is another episode of Drive Time Dialectics coming to you in a slightly different way, in a slightly different format. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this. Decided to give this this methodology a go and record it in the morning and air it in the evening. We'll see how this plays out, ladies and gentlemen. Mostly because I've had a few people complain that, well, you cut out at key times. So I get that. But the drive time dialectics that I do are done mostly just to be conversational with you guys. But I wanted to do this drive time dialectic to be conversational in a slightly different way. One, I will be conversational in the chat as you watch this drive time dialectic, and I will also be addressing this drive time dialectic in a very particular sense, giving some insight into some thought into things in Wabasha County, because as you guys know, I've been covering Marci's story in Justice for Spencer. We've aired 3 episodes of that now for Monday Night Musings. And I've also been telling you about Pam and how Wabasha County Social Services, the CPS there, and the Plainview, Minnesota Police Department have ruined Pam's life and livelihood in many regards, taking away from her occupation as a child care provider in a completely egregious and malicious way, and how this ties into what's happening with Wabasha County Board as it addresses County Attorney Matt Stinson. And I'm going to be clipping in another video, I'm going to clip out some parts of their most recent county board meeting and highlighting for you how the board is responding, in particular to the performance of County Attorney Matt Stinson and the fact that there's not much they can do to make demands on Stinson to change his behavior. And one of those things that they recently did was choose not to give him his demanded raise to just north of $150,000 a year. Now, you're like, well, he's an attorney, that means he's gone to law school, that means, he's got a lot of hard work, and he might be worth $150,000 a year. Well, the county board decided that he's not worth $150,000 a year, and decided to not only not give him his raise, but they voted to reduce his current annual salary to the tune of almost $20,000 a year, for less than what he currently makes, which I think is in the range of $130,000 a year. Now, I want to point this out to you. Matt Stinson, or the Wabasha County Attorney, is an elected position. His salary is set by the county board. Went several weeks ago and basically demanded a raise of north of $150,000 a year. While he's currently making $130,000 and north of $130,000 a year. In a previous video, I mentioned that Matt Stinson is easily making, with $150,000 a year salary, would easily be making double what the median income of Wabasha County is. And that indeed is true. According to the most recent statistics, that median income of households in Wabasha County is only $75,000. So that means a public servant in Wabasha County, the county attorney, would be imposing upon the wage slaves of Wabasha County to earn twice what they earn per household. Now, that's median household income. So that literally would include a large percentage of homes, probably upwards of 50% of the homes in Wabasha County being two-income homes. So Stinson, on his own, would be making more than double what individuals in Wabasha County make. Let that sink in. And with a marked lack of performance, according to the Wabasha County Board. And that should terrify people. That a public servant can walk in and demand north of $150,000 while the majority of people in the county don't even come close to making half of what he makes a year. But now we're going to take a look at something a little different. So, in the most recent meeting where a discussion about Matt Stinson, the county attorney for Wabasha County, took place, in this discussion there were 3 county board members who were very displeased with the performance of Stinson, and there were 2 that were, well, let's just put it this way, they have strong ties to Matt Stinson. One being Commissioner Keys and the other being Commissioner Powers. And we can't guarantee that there's any kind of nepotism going on or protectionism going on, but it sure does seem like they are doing their level best to defend Stinson from being punished for his lack of job performance and how he treats people. And once again, I will be clipping that out, and you guys will be able to see that after we have this conversation. So, this law was cited, not by statute, by Commissioner Key. And Commissioner Key stated that it was illegal for the county board, according to Minnesota state statute, and this one would be 388.18, compensation schedule salaries, as this particularly addresses county commissioners, or excuse me, county attorneys. It says in one of the last paragraphs, the last sentence of subdivision 2, it says, the salary of the county attorney shall not be reduced during the term for which the county attorney is elected or appointed. Now, Commissioner Key said that it's illegal. Now, shall not indicates that it can't be done. But what Commissioner Key didn't point out in the law was very interesting up here at the head of the law in subdivision 1, where it says minimum salaries. So read along with me if you will, or just listen in. The county attorney in all counties in this state with less than 100,000 inhabitants, according to the 1960 federal census, shall receive as compensation for services rendered by them for their respective counties annual salaries not less than the following amounts based on the population according to the then last preceding federal census. So, in the most recent census of Wabasha County, Minnesota, Wabasha County registered under 30,000 residents. Under 30,000 residents. So let's take a look here. What's it say? A county with less than 10,000 inhabitants, the minimum salary set for a county attorney is $4,000.
In counties with 10,000 but less than 20,000 inhabitants, the minimum salary is $5,000. In counties with 20,000 but less than 30,000 inhabitants, the minimum salary for the county attorney is $6,000. In counties with 30,000 but less than 40,000 inhabitants, the salary is $7,000. So let's say that Wabasha County has finally achieved a population of more than 30,000. At the most, the county board is only obligated to give the county attorney of Wabasha County, in this case, Matt Stinson, a salary of $7,000. But the law down below says that they cannot reduce the salary while the county attorney is in a term that he was either appointed or elected to. Now, as I pointed out, County Attorney Matt Stinson is asking to make double, north of double, what the median income of the inhabitants, the residents of Wabasha County make. So I would suggest that since his performance is so poorly received by not only county department heads, but law enforcement agencies throughout the county, but also by the average citizen, as we've reported in the case of Marci and her fight for justice for Spencer, and you guys will be hearing her speech as well to the county board as it relates to Stinson. I would suggest that they would tell Stinson that if he chooses to run for county attorney again, that if he were to win, his salary will be set at no more than $7,000. That's what I would suggest. And that's on the presumption that the county is above the threshold of $30,000. Now, I don't know about you, but if the minimum salary set is $7,000 and the median income of Wabasha County the household income is $75,000, there's no justification for the county attorney to be making double what the people he serves make. There's absolutely no justification for it. I don't care where he went to college. I don't care where he went to law school. I don't care how good of a job he thinks he's doing. I don't care about what kind of technological advances he's made for the county attorney's office. I care about whether or not he's doing his job. And I care about whether or not he's worth, what's that break down to? Let's say it is the $7,000 is the minimum. How many times over does $7,000 fit into $150,000? There's no justification for it at all. Even if he were to make the median income as the county attorney, that's still 10 times plus. So 10.5 times what the median, the current minimum salary would be allowed to him. So my suggestion to the board of Wabasha County is to not monkey around with the law, because Stinson he's going to fight you guys on this tooth and nail. And the way that it's worded, that contractually the courts will side with Stinson, but you are not obligated to award him a salary of any size over or any amount over $7,000 were he to run for office and be reelected. And I believe that you can very clearly state in your discussions with him, if you choose to run for county attorney,
in the next election, we will be setting your salary at $7,000, as is the limit, the minimum limit for county attorneys in counties of less than 30,000 or just over 30,000. Let him know that ahead of time. That doesn't mean you have to do that with everybody who's running for county attorney. That just means you're doing that for Stinson. You're sending a message to Stinson. And I also think it's high time for the people of Wabasha County. Clearly the man is not liked. Now he's clearly supported by people like Key and Powers and, you know, his family members who are all well connected. Marci and I established that in the last Monday Night Musings that I had her on for. He's well connected to power players within the county. His family is connected to the family of the man who took Spencer's life. He's connected to the family of the man who took Spencer's life. The ties are all there. We've laid them all out. We can make it clear that the people of Wabasha County don't like Stinson, that they don't want him in office. Especially now that he's proven to be a sniveling little brat. And that's all he is. He's a sniveling, privileged, pampered brat. Who, quite frankly, is inappropriate in his communications with his overlords, the public, the people who pay his salary. Look at how he addressed, and we pointed this out, how he addressed Marci, telling her that she had no right to talk to one of his employees and critique how she does her job. And Marci has every right to do that. That's the entire point of the First Amendment, is a redress of grievances to the government. And it's high time for the county board to ask the people of Wabasha County if they're ready to recall Matt Stinson, because I think an effort can be made for that. And if people aren't interested in doing a recall, then the county board can send a message that they don't want Stinson running again, and guarantee him that his salary, if he were to run again, will not go above $7,000. That doesn't have to be set for any other county attorney, but it can be set for Stinson. The law is there to allow that. That's what you can do. And in the interim, don't give him any raises. None. In short, Stinson's nothing more than a leech. He's a welfare recipient. And that is not to say that people who need help are as bad as Stinson, because see, the thing with Stinson is that he's the worst of welfare recipients. He has a law degree. He has connections. He has means. He could go into private practice, as I've said in one of my previous videos. Stinson could go into private practice. He chose to take part in a popularity contest and has the support of movers and shakers, what would amount to the elite in Wabasha County. And that can be hard to overcome. He didn't win county attorney because he's some stellar attorney. He's not some well-known county attorney or well-known legal practitioner. He won county attorney because he's connected. And the people deserve better. And that's my suggestion to the county board. Set a clear standard for him. You run again, you're not going to make more than $7,000. And then go out and encourage actual public servant-minded attorneys to run for county attorney and promise them a workable living salary. Something that's commensurate with what everybody else in the county makes. Because that'll get rid of Stinson. Stinson doesn't want to work. He doesn't want to do his job. He just wants a nice twice the household income salary of everyone else in Wabasha County. He wants to take from the working class. He wants to take from the borderline poor in Wabasha County and live at twice their living per household. Let that sink in. Let that really steepen that. Let that permeate your gray matter. Let that get down into the folds of your brain. For those of you that have folds, thank you very much for actually using them. For those of you smooth brain individuals, everybody who is in Stinson's camp, you're nothing but low IQ, low info, nepotistic protectionism types. You've got a guy who feels like he's entitled to make twice what the people who pay him make. That'd be like the mailroom clerk walking into the CEO of some big Fortune 500 company and saying, hey, I'm entitled to whatever job I want here, and as a mailroom clerk, I don't know if you know this, but I'm connected to some people, and I'm demanding that I make twice what you make, Mr. CEO. Because the actual people who are in charge in Wabasha County aren't the county board members. It's not the county attorney. It's not the county sheriff. The people who are in charge are the tax base, the wage slaves. And Matthew Stinson feels entitled to demand $150,000 or more a year, which is more than twice the average median income, or the median income of households in the county he's supposed to be serving. That's disgusting. And the county board can get rid of him in one fell swoop. Tell him his next term he's not going to make more than the prescribed $7,000 a year, especially based on his past performance, and then encourage people to start a recall. Start a recall. Get him out of there, and then appoint somebody who's actually going to serve the people. Said what I said. 6 Semper. Tyrannis.